been asked to make a sort of how-to video for solo role-playing, and it's a very difficult thing to do because different people like different things. They like different systems. I like simple systems like Labyrinth Lord or basic fantasy, sword and wizardry, that kind of thing. And Scarlet Heroes is an excellent choice because you do get everything you need in one book. There are lots of tables to generate random stuff and random adventures even, and ways to grade how you're doing in achieving your aims in the adventure and how far your antagonist is getting ahead of you. So that's a really good one. Mythic is very good. It has the fate chart, of course, and it also has this chart, which is also good. So you roll a d100 on this and a d100 on this, and that can give you some ideas. Heal home. So what could that suggest, for instance? That DM yourself. The only problem with the physical copy of this is that the point size is about 7 points or so, and it's very, very small. But if you've got the PDF, it won't matter with it. So, and OSR Solo, that's quite a neat one. The good thing with a lot of these, they're on drive-through RPG, so you can have a bit of a preview of the PDF before you buy it, and that's a good one. This one I found online somewhere, the one-page solo engine. That's quite a neat little way of doing things. Plenty of charts there, all on one sheet, and a nice way to create dungeons. There are lots of charts and tables for building dungeons. I found my first one in this. But there's I think there's one in the Dungeon Master's Guide, or there's definitely one in Osric. There we go. There's loads of tables in here about how to create a random dungeon. Osric has some good tables for that as well, right at the back somewhere. There's an absolute mountain of stuff in Osric. I really ought to use it, but yes, there are some really good charts in here as well for dungeon creation, and also the sort of senses. What does the dungeon smell like? What does it feel like? You know, that kind of thing. What can you hear? And Table Fables and Table Fables 2. Probably Table Fables 2. A lot of it, people say, including me, it's probably the slightly more useful one. But this one, there's loads of good stuff in the first one as well. And I've used Rory's Story Cubes absolutely loads to come up with adventures and stuff. There are no wrong answers with these, so whatever it suggests to you is what it is. And you can link up a few of them that sort of jump out at you and ignore the rest, or you might pull some of the others in later on as the adventure starts to take shape. I like using these for NPC reactions. And these are also good for general stories as well. And I've also been finding Everway cards quite useful, because I've got a second-hand copy very cheaply, and so if you just pull out 3 of the vision cards, for instance, they can start to suggest a story. Oh my goodness. Wow. So how can these 3 cards fit together? Well, there are questions on the back which can give you ideas, and you can have a think and sort of pull them together in some way. Again, there are no wrong answers, so whatever story you come up with is the right one. And I'm sure that any board games or card games that you might have that are sort of fantasy adjacent can any of the cards in those games, or even some of the components, can suggest ideas to you for your adventures. Quest of Time of Heroes, I've found that particularly useful for location cards. Roombound is full of great stuff. You know, any sort of fantasy adventure game can suggests some story elements to you. And other kinds of silly dice can be fun to have around for NPC reactions, that kind of thing. Hit locations and probabilities. Certain. And these are maths dice, I've mentioned them before. They've just got pluses and minus on, and so if you ask a question and roll it, minuses will be negatives. More minuses than pluses, it's a no. More pluses than minuses, it's a yes. The trouble with the fate dice is having a blank space on them means that you can end up with neutral results which don't really push your story forward. But the silly dice I get are generally from the dice shop online, which ship all over the world, and I've had great fun buying dice from them. But in this example I'm going to try and keep things simple. I've got a couple of BX D&D characters here, so I'm using Labyrinth Lord. I've used these two guys before, Davindel Moonbeam and her mate Clorg Sternhammer. So they're going to go on a little adventure, trying to keep life as simple as possible. And I'm going to be using the cards I talked about recently, the map and dice playing cards from Inked Adventures. There we go. Available from Etsy. And I've taken the spades to one side. I put the entrances and exits here, and sort of dead-end quest rooms over there. So we'll try and generate a little dungeon. I'm going to try and keep my decisions and generations of events and encounters as simple as possible. So let us find out about Davindel and Clorg, because role-playing can sometimes take a back seat in solo role-playing, and it becomes more role-playing for me. So I've been trying to introduce more of a role-playing element with an E. And so Davindel and Clorg, how did they meet? Did they meet randomly in a tavern? So we're looking 4+ is the positives, 3 or less are the negatives. Did they meet randomly in a tavern? Yes, they did. It's quite convincing, a 5. And perhaps did they strike up a conversation? Or were they there for the same reason? Had they been called for a mission and they met on that mission, or as they're about to go on it? Yes, that's definite. So they've both been employed by somebody to go on a mission, and that's how they met. So this tavern, what could it have been called? The Sleepy Wyvern, that's what it was called. So they met at the Sleepy Wyvern. They'd both been called there by somebody. Was this somebody a wizard? No, absolutely not. Was it a merchant? Somebody who deals in perhaps a shopkeeper then. Not somebody involved in buying and selling, but not necessarily a merchant. Shopkeeper? No. Okay, let's settle on some kind of craftsperson, because you can roll yes and no's to infinity and not get anywhere. So after a couple of rolls, it might be best to say, okay, it's not that, it's probably this. Otherwise we'll be here literally all day. So, a craftsperson. Did they make, was it a blacksmith? Pretty convincing. Well, definite metal worker. Perhaps they made weapons? Nope. They made other things that are not weapons. Let us say armour. Yeah. So we're looking, they are looking for us to go and find a magic shield. That would sort of make sense. So that's what we're going to do. Was it stolen? Yes, it was. So some creatures have stolen this magic shield from this Armourer, and they have commissioned the two of us independently to meet up, join forces, and go and find it. Now, even though I'm running Labyrinth Lord today, I do love a bit of white box. So there's a nice little rule in White Box Expanded Lore about checks. While travelling in dungeons or in the wilderness, characters may perform various actions. This includes listening, finding secret doors, finding traps, and unlocking doors. Whenever a character performs one of these actions, the referee secretly rolls a d6. 1 or 2 means success, anything above is a failure. Some racial abilities and feats may modify these rolls. Now, as we've got a dwarf and an elf, they're probably going to be quite good at doing those things, so they'll have a bit of a bonus. So we're going to... we are going to travel to this dungeon after we've met the Armourer, and he's explained to us... is this an heirloom, this shield? Yes, it's been in his family for generations. And those monsters from the caverns, from the old ruins, they stole it from me in the middle of the night, and I couldn't do anything about it. As soon as I heard them, they'd gone out the door and they were off down into the woods, and I desperately want this back. It means everything to me and my family. You know, I come from a long line of armourers, and this means the whole world to me. So we are happy to take on this mission for a fee. He's promised us a reward of sorts. It doesn't matter how much it is, we're going to do it anyway, because otherwise this adventure is going to come to an abrupt end. So we're going to head off into the woods. Perhaps it's noon. He's put up a desperate note in the town square for adventurers, and we've answered the call and met in the Sleepy Wyvern Tavern, and he's explained to us the situation, and now we're making our way through the forest tracks. Now, as we go through the forest tracks, do we meet anything on our way to the ruins? I wouldn't say it was it's a bit of a yes, so I'm not going to say it's a full-on serious encounter, just something unusual. Okay, so that wasn't really a wandering monster roll, it was more of a let's have an encounter and see what kind of thing it is. So I'm going to roll on the forest wilderness encounter table, and we'll see what we get. That is a 6, that is a cockatrice, if you say it like that. I have no idea. Now that sounds like a nasty monster, so I'm going to give us a chance to try and avoid it, I think. How nasty are they? I'm just trying to find it. The cockatrice is a magical creature that has the body of a rooster but the tail of a reptile. It is a small creature about the size of a natural rooster that has a powerful beak that inflicts 1d6 hit points of damage. Okay. If an opponent touches the cockatrice, or if the cockatrice successfully attacks or touches an opponent, the opponent must succeed in a saving throw versus petrify or turn to stone. Cockatrices are ill-tempered creatures, and though they primarily eat small insects or rodents, they will engage larger animals and characters in combat with little provocation. They live in any climate, including labyrinths. Okay. We are going to try and avoid it. We have our elf. She's going to be naturally good at, you know, woodland stuff. So I will... I'll let her do a check, but I'll give her a +1 bonus. So let's say 1 to 3. She manages to spot the cockatrice, if you say it like that, and avoid it. So, oh no! Wow, this has 5 hit dice. Okay, the OSR comes to bite us once more. Now, we don't want to fight this thing, we really don't. So I'm going to make a reaction roll on the reaction table and see what happens, because we so don't want to fight this. 6, that is neutral, uncertain. I think that means we can back away and go around it, because you know this thing could kill us basically. Plenty of hit dice, we don't want to get involved. We're not going to make any aggressive moves towards it, we're just going to back the hell off, and perhaps it's going to run after us a little bit, and to make sure we're definitely on the run, we are no threat to it, we just want to leave it alone, and we will make our way around it and find a roundabout way to get to the ruins. Now, how on earth are we going to get into these ruins? So this is one of the entrance or exit cards. Let's see what it is. A grim gate. This looks like it was the ruins of an ancient fortress, maybe. Maybe some kind of statue or something there. So that's where we're entering, and let's see how we get on. So I imagine we come to these huge stone doors, examine them carefully. Can we detect if they're okay to open? Our dwarf will have a look. 1 to 4, I think, for his special abilities, and it's a 5. So if there is a trap, we don't know. What's the chance? Let's say 1 or a 2. There is a trap. There is not a trap. So we creak open these doors, and we make our way inside, down these steps. The light from the door will run out around here, but we can see the sunlight filtering in on this statue. Now, do you recognise anything about this statue? I'll use my usual 4+ is a kind of yes. No, we don't recognise anything about the statue. Okay, but we're not worried about the statue, we're worried about the shield we're trying to find. So this corridor goes off east and west. I think, if we look to the west, can we see any tracks? Absolutely not. We'll go to the east then, because that must be where the monsters are going. And we make our way down here to this junction. We look north. Do we see any tracks? Yes, we do. So we will head that away. Now I will use the main deck of cards, because the spades are here and here, which are the entrances and exits and transitions. So take another card as we head north. Now no corner gallery of unusual orientation. This is interesting. We come in here at this entrance, and there's some strange stuff going on. Well, as a dwarf and an elf, we are both able to see in the dark, and you know, usual 60 feet or whatever. There are some more sort of stonework here, stonework features, a bit like the statue, and there is this. What is it? Is it a pit to a lower level? Looks like it is. Yeah, it is, isn't it? I was going to roll for it, but it's kind of obvious. So we could climb down, but do we see tracks that we're following going past the pit, or do they climb down the pit maybe, or do they stop? Do they stop at the pit? I'll ask if they go past it. they kind of do. Maybe there has been some traffic up and down here, we don't know. But is there an encounter in this room? Possibly. There's something going on in here. Let's have a think about what it could be. So I'm thinking like 5 or 6 would be an encounter with a monster, maybe, or thereabouts. 4 is like something interesting. So perhaps there is an ancient platform here which rises and lowers, controlled by these things here. So can our dwarf figure out how that works? I'm thinking dwarves have like a 1 to 4 chance of stonework. Let's have a think about that. I'm taking that 1 to 4 thing from White Box because I don't know, it just kind of makes sense with the dwarf, doesn't it? So he's having a good old route around these stonework bits to try and figure out how this platform is raised. So we need a 1 to 4, which he just gets, so he's able to raise the platform. So we rolled a 4 when we were looking for tracks going past, so perhaps a fair few of the tracks go down this platform here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to travel down on this platform because that's where we think the bulk of the baddies, and therefore the magic shield, will be. So we go down onto this lower level, and we saw that not many tracks came this way, so on that logic the bulk of the tracks will go from the platform one of these directions. So we will check north. Are the tracks up there? Absolutely not. We'll go directly east and follow the tracks, which are undoubtedly that way. So I will draw another card. Ooh, whoa. Thirsty Pilgrim's Fountain. Oh, that's kind of cool. Well, I wonder. Monsters have made a den here because there's a fresh water source. So yeah, we'll fill our water skins and have a drink of that, and we'll find out where to go next. Now, having said that, would there be an encounter at this fountain? Let's do a roll. Yes, there is something, and it might be a monster. Now we can be a bit more careful with the Labyrinth tables. We use the Wandering Monster tables because they are graded level 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, whereas the Wilderness tables are not, so you can end up facing something terrible. So what is it that we find here? That is a 6. That is a goblin. So is this goblin here part of the monsters who stole the shield? We'll try and question him and do a reaction check on the table in Labyrinth Lord. We don't get any charisma bonuses or anything, but oh, that's horrendous. Indifferent, uninterested. Okay. Oh, that's not as bad as I thought. So he's not fussed about us, really. So yeah. So he's not going to be friendly and helpful, especially, but he's not. He just couldn't give a monkeys. So we're just going to ask him. We'll say. Well, the dwarf's going to keep his goblin hate in check, but you know, goblins aren't all bad. So we'll say, Davindel will say, Master Goblin, may I ask you, would you like some rations? We have some food which you might like to have some of. Will he be into that? He's not fussed, he's not hungry. He's just here collecting water maybe. And we will say, okay, he's indifferent. So, are you... I'm getting the vibe that he's like a servant or something around here, or he's just doing his own thing. Perhaps he just lives here because there's a fresh water source, or he might be a servant of the other monsters who stole the shield. So is he... Master Goblin, are you employed here by others? No, no, he's just doing his own thing. May I ask, do you belong to a larger community of your kind here, goblins? No, no, he's just chilling out, doing his own thing. Perhaps he just avoids the other monsters who stole the shield. May I ask if I may buy some information from you? Now I'm busy. I've got to go and take this water back. See ya. So he goes. He goes off, and we need to see where the tracks go. So we'll have a look north. Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot of tracks going up here. So we shall take this northern route, and we shall find. Whoa, 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 whoa! Chapel of Evil. Oh no, this has taken a turn. Perhaps they want to use the magic of the shield in some terrible ritual, which never happens. It's like Time Team with the amount of ritual stuff going on. Okay. Is this chapel deserted, or is this ritual business? Is there anybody in the chapel, or anything? Oh boy. Oh, this wasn't how I saw this happening. I didn't know there would be like some kind of cult thing going on. So we have arrived here. Can we hear... I mean, the doors are sort of broken. So can we hear sort of chanting? Is there a thing going on right now? No. No, they're just gathered around. They're not kicking off or doing anything weird. So, what are they? What could they be? Well, they're things that a goblin is able to ignore or be ignored by. So, do they have the shield in here? Whoever they are. No. No, perhaps they're nothing to do with the shield. Perhaps there are other monsters who have it. Or, you know, these could be the same things, but... Okay, let's find out what they are. Now I'm going to roll on the level 1 chart again, and if it makes no sense, I'll have another think about what to do. So, what creatures are gathered in this Chapel of Evil? 8, those are halflings. Wow, this has really taken a turn. A group of halflings have gathered in the Chapel of Evil. Oh wow. Are they evil halflings? Well, are they? No. They're just a group of halflings. They're not evil. They're just ordinary. What are they doing here? Okay, let's... I don't imagine they'd be hostile if they're not evil, but they might be busy. So I doubt they would attack, but let's roll. 11. Unfriendly may attack. They are clearly busy with something, but not something evil. They're just like, okay, so we'll go in and hail them. And Davindel, who's the friendly one, Clorg is the grumpy one, she will say, "Dear Halflings, greetings. I am Davindel Moonbeam, and this is my friend Clorg Sternhammer. How are you today? What are you doing in this unusual place, if I may ask?" And they say, "No, you may not ask. We are very, very busy. Please leave us alone and let us get on with our business." And she apologises and says, I'm dreadfully sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Can we see what they are doing?" Yes, we can. It is very obvious what they're doing. I'm getting the vibe that they are sanctifying or removing the evil influence from this place. Perhaps they are a group of halfling clerics. Ouch, that didn't roll very well, but they're not halfling clerics. Perhaps in that case I'm thinking they're not also searching for the shield, are they? Absolutely not. No, they're doing something else. They are looking for their own thing. Perhaps they are deciphering these cryptic writings. No, they're not. Okay, they are doing something else. They are archaeologists, I'm thinking. I'm not going to roll again because we'll get into an endless rolling loop. They're just really busy. They're just really busy doing archaeology on this chapel of evil. That doesn't sound right. Now I'm thinking, are they rescuing someone who is imprisoned here? Oh, yeah, the endless rolling, we've got into that loop. I'm going to say that they have rescued someone. They were imprisoned in this chapel of evil by the monsters who took the magic shield, and now they are desperate to get back home with their friend, which they have rescued, and so they barge us out of the way and travel back to the main gate. Well, they're on their way there anyway. So they were a little brusque and desperate to get home, so that's why they were less than helpful. So yes, the Chapel of Evil wasn't full of evil, it was full of halflings rescuing someone, one of their own. So we will carry on past the Chapel of Evil, following the tracks. Are we going north or west? Sorry, that was a stupid question. Are we going north? Yes, they are. The tracks go north, and I'm going to take one of these, which are the dead ends, sort of. A primitive chamber. So this is where the business is. Whoever's got the magic shield is in here, and they're perhaps they sort of retreated when the group of halflings came and hid themselves away because their shield is the most important thing that they're worried about. They can kidnap a halfling anytime, so they retreated back because they didn't know the halflings were making a lot of noise. They didn't know how many there were, so they retreated back into the cavern here where they're keeping the shield, and we need to be able to sneak up on them and find out what they are. So let's have a think about sneaking. Our dwarf is not going to be great at that, so as he is the worst, we're going to need a 1 or a 2, I think, to be able to surprise them. We do surprise them. We're able to sneak up. So perhaps they are talking amongst themselves about when those halflings are going to go away, or when what those people are who came, what that group of creatures was. Are they halflings? Are they something else? We don't know. When will they go away? That kind of thing. And finally we need to find out what these antagonists are. So I'll roll on the Wandering Monster table level 1 again, and I might re-roll if it makes absolutely no sense, but let's see what happens. 15. Skeletons, you say? Perhaps, well, that makes sense. In the 5th edition D&D book, it describes how skeletons can be created wherever there is evil magic about. So it would make sense that perhaps from the tombs of this evil chapel, the skeletons arose because of the evil magic going on, and perhaps they were warriors who lost this magic shield years ago. Perhaps they've reclaimed it because it belonged to their regiment back in the day. We do not have a cleric. Yeah. Okay, so that makes a weird kind of sense. So what are we going to do about these skeletons? Now, these skeletons have not been summoned by a necromancer or anything like that, so they have arisen as a result of magic that's just floating about, so they might not necessarily want to fight. Maybe the magic of the... no, that doesn't make sense. So we're gonna approach with caution and try and be diplomatic. We shall say, or Davinder will say, she's the spokesperson for this group because she's the less grumpy one. Ancient noble warriors, I bid you greeting, and I do not mean to intrude on your resting place, even though you're clearly not at rest. But I would beg audience with you. There is a matter of great import that I need to discuss. All on the monster table. 6 is neutral, uncertain. That gives us hope. So, thank you for this opportunity of speaking with you. The magical shield that you hold was forged by an armourer whose descendant it means a lot to. It has been passed down through their family. After it was lost in battle, it returned to the original person who made it, and it has been precious to their family ever since. And I would ask if you would be so kind as to enable us to take it back to the person who forged it. Are they going to buy that? Let's do our roll. No, they're not keen. They're not keen. Somehow, perhaps they're able to speak in a sort of ghostly way and say, "This belongs to our regiment. It fell with us. It belongs to us." Oh boy, how are we going to do this? I can see that the magic around here has caused you to has taken you from your rest. Perhaps I could bring a cleric to restore you to your rest, so that you may be at peace. They're not keen on that. Perhaps they're getting ideas of going back to battle. We shall be restored as the warriors we once were, despite our current, or despite the fact that we are not quite as we were. We are still able to fight. We shall still be mighty. We shall still stride the land and spread terror wherever we go. This isn't going well. Okay. I'm afraid I can't permit you to do that. My friend and I will stop you if we have to, but we do not want to resort to violence. I ask you again if you'll allow me to help you back to your rest. They've already answered that. They're not keen. They're getting ideas of going after and being an army again. So I think we're going to have to fight. It saddens me that we have to do this, but we cannot permit you to spread terror throughout the land. Let us lay the smack down. Okay, let's roll to see how far apart we are. That's 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The other just about here. So do we want 3? Maybe we'll have 4. I think that might be a fair fight. Could be in trouble. Yeah, we are only level 1 bards, but we like to make life difficult for ourselves, don't we? So that's another 8. 1 hit dice monsters, and 2 of them are at 8 hit points. Okay, let's get this show on the road. And in the skeleton description in Labyrinth Lord, there is nothing about edged weapons only doing half damage, so we'll do full damage with our sword. And the skeletons are red for this initiative roll, and we are green. And we go first. So, what on earth are we going to do? So, in the rulebook, they're at 60 feet per round, I think. Let me just check what the brackets means. I can't remember. Armor class. No, it doesn't say. Okay. So, yeah, they move at 6 squares per round. Let's say each square is 10 feet. And we move at 4, so we're going to hold back a bit, and Davendel is going to do her spell, which is magic missile. So she will target this one. D6 plus 1 damage. 6 damage to number 1. He is blasted apart. So he's gone. And what is our dwarf going to do? Does he have any missile weapons? He's got a sling. He'll do that. He'll target the second guy. So he needs to roll a 12 or more, and he's got no dexterity adjustment. He rolls a 15. He hits. He rolls d4 damage. 2 damage to the second skeleton. He's knocked a few of his ribs out. Down to 6. So these skeletons are going to move in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So they're all about there, rushing towards us disturbingly fast. Now what are we going to do? We shall well, I guess we'll engage in melee. Now our mate here, she has a sword. She will draw her sword in the same round, why not, and just launch into this guy. We need 12, please. We don't get a 12. Clorg attacks. He must also roll a 12 with his is it Warhammer or something? I think it is. Yes, it is Warhammer. 12 or more, please. No, that's terrible. Okay, now we're in trouble. So this guy needs to roll a 16 to hit Davendel. and he does not just. And this guy is attacking Clog. He needs to roll a 15 or more, and he just does. He rolls a d6 for his spear. That is 2 damage to Clog. He's down to 6 hit points. This is not looking good. And the final guy is going to attack Clog. He needs a 15, and he gets a 17. Oh no. Clog is down to 2 hit points. You first level character, you. So Davindel will retaliate, rolling a 12 or more, hopefully 17. Yes. D8, come on. 2. We're whittling this guy down slowly. We're knocking more of his ribs and various bits out. Clog will attack one of these, it doesn't really matter which. 18, excellent work. 4 damage against this guy who has 6 hit points. Now he's down to 2, but Clog is in a lot of trouble. This one is still attacking Davindel and misses. This one attacks Clog, and this one attacks Clog. Wow, thank goodness for that. Okay, Davindel really needs to lay the smack down on this guy. That's a 9, that's not going to do it. Clog will attack him again. Oops. 15, that is enough. D6, come on. That is enough to destroy this guy. So the odds are a little more even. This one takes his spear, tries to jab Davindel, and does so. That's 2 damage against her. She's down to 4. And this one again tries to attack Clog. Thank goodness he doesn't hit him. So we strike down with our mighty sword once more. Oh yes, that's enough. Come on. Oh no, he's still standing. He's got 2 hit points left. And Clog, can he deal with this guy? No, he can't. So this one attacks Davindel again and hits. This shield wasn't worth it. 2 damage. She's down to 2 hit points. Wow. And this one attacks Clog and misses. So come on, Davindel. Yes, that's the stuff. Oh, don't you dare roll the one, you swine. He's still hanging in there, the git. And Clog, come on. 8, that's a miss. So this one takes a swipe with his spear, misses. This one tries to attack Clog, unfortunately misses again. Oh, this is tense. We are so in trouble. Really, really in trouble. Davindel will strike again. Oh no. Clog, come on. Yes, that's more like it. Good lad. 1 damage. This guy's still on 7 hit points. Oh dear. Yeah, we're in trouble. Do you think the halflings will come back and rescue us? Let's find out. Absolutely not. They couldn't give a monkeys. Right. So, this guy attacks Davindel once more. He's on 1 hit point. 7, that's fine, he misses. This one attacks Clog. That's fine, he misses. Now Davindel, come on, put this one to bed. 14, that's enough. And he goes down. She smashes him with her sword. Now Clog, come on. Oh no, he misses. The skeleton gets to attack. That's good. Okay, Davindel is going to come in and help. So she rolls 17, that's great. Oh, for goodness sake, this is terrible. My damage dice are awful. And Clog gets his attack. 2. Okay, now he's got 2 people to fight. 1 to 3 he carries on attacking Clog. He goes for Davindale. Mind you, they're both equally in trouble. So he's rolling for a 16 plus. 7, that's great. Come on, Davindale, she retaliates. 11, that's just 1 short. And Clog, 14, good lad. 4 damage. He is down to 2. My goodness. Again, 1 to 3 Clog. And he attacks Clog this time. Rolling a 15 plus. Oh my goodness. Clog could be down. Clog is just down. He's just down to 0. So he's out of the fight. But Davindale gets her turn. Oh, you fool. So the skeleton retaliates. Good. He misses with his spear. Davindale, come on. 14, that's good. 6 damage, smash. So she's going to administer first aid to Clog and try and bring him back around and get some help. Can the magical shield possibly assist Clog? Yes, it does have healing properties. So Davindale, using the magic shield, is able to bring Clog back from being very, very injured indeed. And they are both able to take the magic shield and make their way out back to the Armourer, who has agreed to meet them in the Sleepy Wyvern Tavern. And it is there that they receive their reward for finding his family heirloom and putting the skeletons to rest in a rather, in a way they would have preferred not to, but hey, that is that. So we had a little adventure with our map and dice cards here, and I hope that maybe gave some idea about how these things can be put together. If even a simple oracle like a d6, 1 is very negative, 6 is very positive, and you can have shades of difference between throughout the numbers that can sort of suggest how the story is going. So yes, that was certainly that. Thank you for watching.